the sound of their massive wings. So if that lappet-faced vulture, if I were to stretch out my arms, I'm admittedly not the largest person in the world, nor the tallest, but even if Archie, who is definitely far taller than me, were to stretch out his arms, he probably, from fingertip to fingertip, still wouldn't equal the wingspan of the lappet-faced vulture. They are enormous birds. And that's why they're very gangly in the way that they move. And very sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Quite, they're not graceful. Let's put it that way when they're on the ground. But when they manage to take off and find themselves a thermal, their wingspan helps them be incredibly energy efficient because they just ride the air currents. Jeremiah, we've got a few faces here that only a mother could love. The combination of the lappet-faced vulture with those folds of pinkish turkey-like skin on the top of its head. You're right, they're not beautiful. Doesn't make them any less awe-inspiring, of course, or any less important, or any less valuable. But yeah, it would take a serious enthusiast to call that animal beautiful. Oh, Marabou got lucky there. Now, for those of you that are new and not familiar with these birds, we seem to be having a bird-filled Mara drive. That is a marabou stork, not to be confused with a Malibu stork, which is a variant of a drink. A marabou stork. Beautiful, aren't they? Known as the undertakers of the stork world. They have these white-coated legs because they defecate on their legs, part of their thermoregulation process. There you go. So that's actually from the uric acid, because of course birds don't urinate. Oh, pecking at the vulture, that's amazing. I'm not quite sure I understood that, Faith. Sorry, it was a comment from Shauna about the meat, but I didn't fully grasp what the comment was. I apologize. Oh, there we go, the dentist at work. Dentist from a horror movie. Shauna wants to know who left the meat behind, or who's it. You know, it might not even necessarily have been a predator. In the migration there, wildebeest die often from injuries. It could have slipped in the mud. We saw recently, Brent and myself, and Jean-Ray and Viam, we saw the strangest kill we've ever seen in our lives. The lions chased zebra, but they were half-heartedly. They were never going to catch them. And then a zebra slipped and fell in a hole, and it stood up and then went rigid and fell. It must have broken its neck. So it does happen in these big herds. They panic. But it could also be lions. Lions are known to go on killing sprees during the migration, often completely abandoning the carcasses, which seems wasteful, but then you return and you see the vultures all feeding on them. So it isn't that wasteful. It's such a small minority, but the numbers are so large that it seems as though the place is strewn with carcasses once the wildebeest walk past.